Hey guys, welcome back to the table. You're with Finding a Tori. We're so grateful you're listening to us. This is Arcadia, and I'm here at the table with Malcolm and with Tori.
Hello.
Hi. So we get to have some really fun conversation today, following up on some of the conversation we've already had about,
that I missed.
Yeah. Welcome back to the table, Tori.
Which I listened to and then was like, they did a really good job. But I had and once again, it would have been like a 2-hour episode had I been involved.
Right. Well, this is why we're splitting it up into multiple episodes.
Yes.
So we've been talking Daggerheart with the release of the lovely new game this year in 2025 from Darrington Press and Critical Role.
Yep.
So today we wanted to, for those of you who haven't picked it up yet, who are trying to learn more about it, we wanted to talk about some of the mechanics, maybe do a little bit of a comparison against other games that you might be familiar with. And so, as always, we do have a mechanics meister at the table, our beloved Tori.
Yeah.
And she's been digging into this, but let's be fair, it's a new game.
I'm human.
And we're all still learning.
And reading was not my favorite thing last night. So bear with me. And I could get it wrong. I'm doing my best.
We're all learning it, but it should be fun to explore a little bit. We've already had a lot of conversations off mic about the interesting mechanics that we're finding and how it compares to Dungeons and Dragons, how it maybe compares to other RPGs we've played, VTM, Shadowrun, things like that. I think the most interesting thing that Tori pointed out to us off mic earlier was that in the core rule book, there is a very out front statement that, the starting basis point for Daggerheart design was Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition, not 5th edition,
Nope.
4th edition.
4th edition.
So I appreciate that because everybody is, making a fair comparison to Dungeons and Dragons. Mm-hmm. But it is its own, different system. This is not a version of Dungeons and Dragons.
No, this is not.
Thing.
This is its own thing.
So
there are some things that are, you can tell that where they came from, but there are some where it's like this has
right,
D&D.
Right.
Nope. So
Tori, start us at the beginning. What kind of dice system are we using here?
You're using a D20, but we won't be rolling with D20s. The players.
I gotta stop you. We gotta slow that down. D20 system, but we're not playing with D20s.
The players aren't.
Okay.
The GM uses the D20 for rolls.
Oh, okay.
The players would use their hope and fear to get
and hope and fear dice are D12s.
D12s, yes.
And is that all the player needs? Is 2 D12s?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because some of the damages, abilities, and stuff like that are going to use all the others.
Are you using a full polyhedral dice set?
I don't know.
I think I saw something that was talking about D6s as well as D12s and D4s.
D4s, and I think it depends. I think I heard of D8.
Okay.
I imagine, yeah.
There's like some damage rolls and stuff that you'll need the other dice for, but your two big ones are the 2 D12s.
Okay. So, yeah, and I think I saw somewhere online that, the recommendation for resources, maybe, I think it's in their quick start guide of things you'll need. Pen, paper, and a polyhedral dice set. They don't, and understandably, they actually listed, you don't just need a polyhedral dice set. You need at least 2 D12. You need at least a couple of D4s or,
right.
whatever. So, Malcolm, what have you seen about mechanics so far on this?
You touched on it, and I was going to get there. I like the entire concept and would like to know more about the hope and the fear system and how it's used to resolve gameplay and influence gameplay. Because I think it's something that moves away from a lot of how you have action, combat, interaction, resolution with a lot of different games. Mm-hmm. I think that some of those elements bleed into maybe a vampire sort of thing where you have the lust, the thirst, and the Shadowrun as well, where you're kind of filling in those squares.
The resource tracking is different.
Right.
which is it. That is just another resource.
So what's the exchange there with hope and fear, and how does it play into resolution from a player and a GM seat?
Okay, so from what I can see, for battle, it makes it easy. It gets rid of they don't have initiative.
Right. Yeah, I was reading about that. This is an interesting piece of this that, and I know some D&D tables are going to this, and I don't know about other game systems that are, whether they're playing it, but where it's sort of, I forget the term that's used, but it's a basically jump in when you want and say what you're doing when the time is right to do it. So the table sort of decides how the situation plays out. It's
more organic than, because you can tell a lot of times in D&D, especially if you're playing D&D at a table who uses battle maps, you know when shit's coming, when stuff gets cleared off.
It gives you time to think and strategize versus I only have 6 seconds to respond.
Yeah.
So I can see, I guess where I'm going jumping with this whole sort of play it out without an initiative, jump in when you want to jump in, when there's a good time for your player to do what they want to do, is I go to think about Jess has shared at one of the tables, she GMs Dungeons and Dragons. One of those players, very purposefully, it's their sort of form of therapy, is that they are just very, what's the word I want? Impromptu,
like cavalier in their game.
Yeah, like they just don't want to. They're just going to act. They're not going to think it through. And they do some crazy stuff because of it. I can see that, like, if you have that at a table versus also a player who maybe is a little more strategic, like you're going to have a very interesting scenario where that person who is just going to charge in without thought gets to just charge in without thought versus, oh, well, I'm fourth.
Yeah, that's the thing. It dumps some of that. It also helps what if the rogue I'm just going to say
you're talking about rogues. Perhaps. Surprise.
Not shocking. Everybody knows what class that I play on a reg, right? I'm a rogue main. It doesn't matter what game. It matters what game, but it doesn't matter what game. Anyways, if the rogue gets first initiative and the rogue doesn't want to do anything because they're hidden, they basically lose their turn.
Right. Yeah, because you lose so many of your bonuses.
Right.
If
lose
they're not
your
engaged.
Turn.
Yeah.
Well, this sets it up so if somebody like that character who wants to charge in and go ham, they can do that, and the rogue can be like,
well, thank you.
I'm going to wait.
And I think the book gives it the name of the spotlight system.
Yep, it's the spotlight.
Where it's a back and forth between the GM and the character. And the character is going to have one of those action tokens that they're doing something with. And that's almost a mana bead for the GM to go back and do that resolution and to bounce the spotlight back and forth without, like you said, the initiative, like I'm going forth. You can just kind of take your turn and have your spotlight, and then the GM can resolve it there or use that action token to come back later with one of their actions.
Right.
And I can see how that really benefits the concept of this being a narrative first game style. That the whole thing that is consistently put out there out front in front of Daggerheart is that this is a collaborative storytelling effort.
Yep.
And, that bouncing the spotlight idea is telling the story with each other versus, oh, wait, what did my die tell me? I guess is what I would see from that.
And it dumps some of the math.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of the math.
but then we can't, do math and
there's still math.
Pretend.
There's still maths.
That's our favorite saying.
I know. But you're still doing math.
Okay.
And you're still pretending. So it works.
Much math.
It's not as much math.
They're math rocks.
Yes, they are. Click, clack, math rocks. Make Braden go burr. I don't know how many times I've said that. But it's a lot.
Okay, so we've been primarily talking about like fighting situations. tell me about other gameplay, storytelling,
like skill checks and stuff. They have stuff like that, but it's not all of their stuff. If you're trying to do something, doesn't matter what you're trying to do, you roll.
I'm trying to seduce the barmaid.
You would roll your 2d12s.
I'm scared to seduce the barmaid.
But you can still seduce the barmaid scared.
Okay.
And it's
you can still seduce the barmaid scared, but
she might not like girls.
Or you might come back with creepy crawlies.
Right.
Like, something could happen that you don't want to happen in that.
Malcolm, you had something on that.
I was just saying that it seems like there's that for the quadrants of outcome is that you can have a failure, you can have a success, but you can also have a failure with the fear. And that's kind of what I was asking about, was the fear and the hope thing earlier, where you can have different grades of result based on using those.
You fail, but not as bad as you would have.
Correct.
If you roll with hope.
Okay.
So that's exactly what it is.
She was kind when she turned you down.
Yes. She didn't kick you in the nuts like what would happen if you failed.
Right.
Failed.
It just gives you different grades of result there. I thought that.
And
that
then
was
there's
pretty
crit
neat.
still. Crits still exist.
Yeah, I read something about that like if you roll a crit, like it and it's if you roll two of the same number, right?
If you roll your D12s and you can get snake eyes.
Yeah, you
Any
could
of
get
them.
yeah.
Any of them, as long as they match, that's a crit. And what it does is you succeed, obviously, but you also clear stress points.
Yes.
So
I
it gives
remember
you
reading
extra.
that. Yeah. So
Right,
okay.
it's a really awesome thing that's going to turn your day around.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I've got two thoughts in my brain, and
Okay.
one was to ask Malcolm, just as our perennial GM,
Forever.
I guess what are your thoughts about running that game where, within other games we play, we're rolling skill checks and things like that. But this hope and fear dynamic, as far as with simple things like walking in the tavern and trying to make a friend or trying to seduce the barmaid.
One of the things that I think happens in D&D, especially and maybe in Shadowrun as well, including a lot of those math heavy, numbers heavy, bonus heavy equation to get to the actual result games, is they become very episodic. And maybe you failed 4 or 5 times in that, but the rest of the party kind of picked it up and you guys got through it. Maybe you, critted twice. And as soon as that monster's dead, as soon as that encounter's over, that negotiation in the alleyway is done, you kind of move on to the next encounter, and there's not, unless it's damage that you need healed, unless it's, you lost something and you've got to go get it back. Usually you just kind of walk in. We had a rest and we walk. And the events don't really linger. With hope and fear, you've kind of gotten, that's why I like the VTM with the hunger and in those tracked stats, because it gives consequence. This is going to fuck with me later in the day.
Right.
There's more when I said there were resources to track, there's resources that get tracked that the players don't know what's going to happen, and even the GM might not know.
Sure.
Because there might be narratively a story that gets triggered or something.
So what kind of resources? Like, dig into that for me a little bit.
You can burn hope die to do special things.
Okay. And what does it mean to burn hope die?
So when you roll and you succeed on something, right?
Yeah.
You can either gain a hope or a fear.
Okay.
And so the success, just so that I'm sure that I've got this in my brain, is going to be a number that the 2 12-sided die equal to or above.
And it's a meets or beats system. So,
absolutely.
And it's different depending on the thing, sort of like D&D.
Right. You've got
yeah, there's modifiers. There's modifiers on a whole bunch of stuff.
So hopping over the creek without getting wet is going to be different than dodging the flame from the...
Yes.
And then if you get those numbers, boom, you've got a success. If you don't, you've got to fail. But based on which one was higher, you either have a hopeful success or hopeful fail, or a fearful success or fearful fail.
Right.
So if I need an 8 and I roll a 3 on my hope and a 6 on my fear, I did
You
it.
failed.
No,
I did,
if you
'cause,
needed
like,
an 8.
Yep, because
that's 9.
6 is 9.
Oh, you add them
All
together.
You add them together.
Okay,
So now I know that I've passed. I've succeeded. That's cool.
Okay.
I did the thing I wanted to do, but my fear die is the higher of the two, so I did it apprehensively.
Okay.
Not everything
the
turned out
GM
all right.
gets, and with that,
Can say
the GM,
what you got scared of.
well, and the GM earns a fear die.
I get to put that in my little thing that Tori's character did that, and the fear was the higher thing, so that affects the outcome, and it's made her a little bit more afraid. And she's got to carry that fucker around all day.
And you can put it into the story at any point.
You can put it in the story. Because another thing, like, and I'm going for combat because that's the most, when the mechanics are involved, that's going to be like
Straight line application.
Right.
Yep.
I get that, but like I also like this idea that like if I got freaked out jumping over the creek, that later on when I'm in combat, like something
spooks you.
Right.
Something comes out of the creek.
Yeah.
Like I like that.
It means that thing matters later, and that to me is my favorite part about this so far.
Okay.
Yeah. And the like interesting spot about that, and I'm keep on harping on combat, guys. I'm sorry. It's the easiest way to do the mechanics for me. So it's a lot of back and forth, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of quick.
Spotlight shift.
The
boom,
spotlight
boom,
shift.
Boom. Improv.
The GM can...
It's like an improv class.
Yes, and...
I ordered toast.
Actors created this. I'm surprised.
Yes, and... and actually, most like hardcore D&D players do it without thinking.
Right. And it's part of that, yes. It
is part of the role-playing thing.
If you can, and I'm saying what I like about that hope and fear system for Daggerheart, you can incorporate any level or modification or type of that thing in your D&D game. It just needs to matter to you that happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Once again, they're not reinventing any wheel.
Right.
No, and what it really seems like is these people have played lots of games. Period. End of story. Especially the game designers.
Sure. Yeah.
And what they did...
Built lots of games.
Built lots of games. What they did was that all those player things, like a lot of this stuff seems like it's like cherry-picked from different games. Mm-hmm. Like The Hunger.
Sure.
That was... I was like... because we were talking about vampire, but yeah, like The Hunger was one of them. Damage types... Shadowrun.
That's what I was going to say. I very much saw Shadowrun.
You have a damage pool, and that damage pool gets reduced by factors.
And once you're done, something's going to happen, and you're not going to like it.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
Well, they have armor class, but it's armor slots where you have so many slots that you can burn. You can only burn so many. But it reminded me.
So your armor wears down?
It was battle damage He-Man.
You hit him once. I had battle damage.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're there.
We did 2, but it was like, well, you can burn one armor slot. Now he's got a gashed up fucking breastplate.
Right,
what are you going to do? Is that all going to fit well?
Okay, so I want to go back to the specific mechanics. So one, I want to recap. So when we do the hope and fear die, for people who haven't read, who haven't played, the idea here is that you're doing some sort of skill check. Mm-hmm. You have a number to meet or beat.
Meet or beat.
You roll 2 d12s, you add them up, and if that number meets or beat whatever you needed to hit,
also, there's modifiers too.
You succeed, and you can add in the modifiers according to your character sheet. And then, so you succeed or you don't succeed, and then you look at, well, this was my fear die and this was my hope die. You probably want different colored die.
You do.
And and you can say, okay, I succeeded, but my fear was higher, or I succeeded and my hope was higher. And that also impacts how the story plays out. So that's the hope and fear and how that works. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's a resource that can be used because you can spend all of that. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you, we've talked about this, about like the DM or the GM gains a fear, or you gain a hope or a fear. How do you spend?
You can cash them in by doing like special abilities. You can also use them.
Adding to your dice pool.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're adding to your, so do I get to roll 3d12?
No,
you would get your 2d12 plus a 1, or it would help the result. I believe.
Okay, so it's a modifier. It becomes a modifier.
Well, no.
If you want to burn it.
No, everything has specific modifiers that you can do, like abilities and stuff, but you can spend it to do the tag team. Like a tag team attack.
So
that takes 3 hope.
Okay, so you have to have those hope resources.
You have to have those hope.
And then you can say, all right, I want to do this one action,
BTM.
and I cannot do this action unless I have these 3 hope resources.
And then
so
you just can't do it.
Getting these good rolls, you're beefing up. Once again, my day's getting better. Shit's going good.
Yep.
Next thing that I try, I'm murdering that. That's great. And then you can actually go, I'm so hopeful that I'm going to spend this to affect an outcome or get access to a skill set.
Okay, that's very cool. Okay, so now I'm curious about the armor class. Does it wear away like every time I get hit, or is it that something specific happens that wears it down?
When you get
realistic battle damage.
I just thought it was cool because it was like, that's something you don't think.
Yeah, your armor is your armor.
Your armor is your armor. You never heard it.
And that's the thing is, once again, to those ideas that an encounter is going to be situational. It's going to be episodic. And when we go down the road and we go around the curve and now we see the other group of banditos, my chainmails. I mean, I'm still a +4 on my, you know what I mean?
Right.
It does not offer
I took a crap ton of damage in that fight, but my chainmail's looking good.
Yeah.
And once again,
it's the...
You can DM around this.
Right,
There is space within your D&D game to have realism about armor damage.
Your table can choose however you want to do it.
You can also have encumbrance, and you can make it any way that you want to. Just looking at what Daggerheart focuses on,
they've highlighted
it.
This is, you miss some of the pieces.
Yeah. So explain how this armor thing works.
Okay, so you get the base scores. You get to pick one tier 1. Like everybody when they start, they get 1 tier 1, right?
And a tier is what?
There's 4 armors.
Oh, okay. So it's like leather versus chainmail versus
no.
Layers.
It's layers.
No, it's like, okay, we're gonna go back to. We're going to go back to second edition.
Just took her glasses off.
We're going to go back. We're going to go back.
Like the class didn't get it.
No.
Like you guys just aren't getting it.
No, this is easier for me to do with that.
Okay.
Because I know that one in my sleep, right?
Okay.
So you got chain, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. And chain gives a certain amount of protection.
What does mithril chain do?
Right. It gives you
What does elven chain do?
You're doing rarity. Tier is
yeah,
rarity.
It's just like common, uncommon.
+1, +2, +3.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So there's only 4 armors.
So you could have like leather at tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4.
Right, but then there's specifics like...
So when I'm a hobbit who's been blessed by elves and I have a really, really, really fucking magical cloak, it's, level 4 and nothing can touch me even though it's made of cotton.
Yes, it's just like that. I think. How are we doing over there, Tori?
I'm looking for something here.
So
the armor class is, but you burn it and then you can get it back.
Okay.
But once again, during long rests or rests, you can get some of that stuff back, but you can't do all of the things.
There are activities
for
short...
I think there's 2 things you can do in a rest.
Okay, so I am really enjoying this. I am getting more and more intrigued and interested for us to play test the game. I'm super excited about it. But I'm going to say I think we should maybe just take a brief little break, and then we can come back and maybe touch on some like stressors and some of these other aspects of the mechanics.
I'm going to go find my eyeglasses and work on some very dramatic scenes.
Pointing?
I can't wait till I find my glasses.
I did that. I took them off and I went.
You did. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us at the table. We'll be back right after this break.
This episode of Finding a Tori is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. The Finding a Tori podcast is looking for guests for our upcoming episodes. Are you or someone you know passionate about the TTRPG community and have a story to share? If so, contact us on our socials or reach out at wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. And now back to your program.
Hey guys, welcome back to the table with Finding a Toria and our discussion on Daggerheart mechanics. We've got Malcolm, Tori, and Arcadia here.
Do I have the slightly overwhelmed look on my face as we get into armor class?
Yes.
Battle damage.
I think I'm the one that like suggested a break when it got brought up because I'm just like, I'm not going to do well for this portion. All right, Tori, how does armor class work?
Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. I'm going to say this. You're not rolling against armor class to hit.
That's what I was going to say. We haven't talked about that. Like,
no, you're rolling against
hit.
Evasion.
Okay. Oh, so against like dexterity.
And that's why the battle armor is necessary. It's like Shadowrun a little bit again? There.
It's
I've refrained from getting funky fresh on this episode. I've been doing a very good job of not breaking it down. Do not tempt me further.
All right. Armor class.
Okay, so
to hit. Talk to us about how this works.
You go up against evasion.
And so you've got a skill check.
So it's basically a skill check.
Okay. And so you do what we've talked about. You have a number you have to beat.
It's meet or beat.
Meet or beat, and that's done with your hope and fear die, your 2d12.
Or if you're the GM's rolling a 20 against you.
Well, that's not fair.
As the resident GM, I'm liking what I hear more and more.
Okay, so
my die is bigger, possibly. My yeah. So I've got 1 to 20.
Well, technically, you've got 24.
Right.
So 20 against 24.
And then modifiers aplenty, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is there okay? Let
one question at a time.
Yeah, we're jumping. I am the person being attacked.
Mm-hmm.
How is my what it takes to hit me determined?
Evasion.
And that is a skill you have, or a number you have on your sheet.
I think it's pretty much like, let me look it up so I can say the right thing.
So like dexterity or strength or
kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's probably a combination of a couple of different.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's sort of more like Shadowrun maybe.
Yeah, no, it is.
VTM.
It is.
Yeah.
This is another one of the branches.
Yeah.
That where it's like you're not playing D&D.
Right. Yeah.
You're not.
Right. And they seem to be more going to this pool of.
Yes.
And then reduction of that pool number by other effects.
I'm seeing a Shadowrun character sheet where you're filling in like, oh, I have this many levels in this skill, and it's based on these 2 or 3 other
and if I've got
traits I've got.
Armored trench coat and the dermal plating, now it's down to this many successes, and I'm sure that there's a very proper term for that.
I'm sure it is,
style.
but I don't know what it is yet. But yeah,
go ahead and shame us in the comments.
Come on. Go ahead, at me. I just invited it. At me.
Yes.
Antagonizing.
Okay. So I have an evasion
No, I'm just
score.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is my evasion score the final, or does the evasion score then also get modified?
Well, I'm sure
modifiers go into determining the evasion score.
I'm pretty sure modifiers go into. Here we go. Base evasion is by class, which makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. It's like I'm going to keep going to D&D, I guess. I don't know why.
No.
But like elves have an extra +1 to dexterity or something. Yeah. Okay.
Well, and it's basically, you got to get out of the way of hit.
Right.
Now, part of me is like, that's not everybody's job. It's just me.
So you can
flavor it.
Okay.
So it gives you the option to be like, oh, this person, my character is able to like dodge like a motherfucker.
Right. Like I have this certain skill that I have really focused on, and I can do a triple sow cow out of the way.
And it's your base evasion is determined by class, but it can be modified by domain, equipment, conditions, and more.
Okay. So to hit me, you have to meet or beat my evasion score. Okay. And you are going to roll 2d12, your hope and your fear, to meet or beat that score.
And you, then you would add them, then whatever would be the, whatever your modifier was, you add that in. And then if your hope die was bigger, you would roll with hope. If your fear die was bigger, you were rolling with fear.
Sure.
When you roll with fear, the DM gets a token or whatever you decide to use to track it and gives that DM extra moves, so to speak.
Okay, so then if
attempts to take the spotlight back in the story,
you have
with that
you can
character.
absolutely
you spend those as you collect them.
Okay, that's very cool. So there is, there's equipment that impacts your evasion score, but there isn't an actual armor class.
No,
but much like Shadowrun, I think that once you have evaded all you can evade, and something contacts you, now you have a second step, which brings into what
the
your armor
is what we were talking about.
Right, and what it does is the certain armor gives you so many slots, and you can spend those to knock whatever damage was done to you down a tier.
Right.
So let the armor take more of the damage, you take less.
Right.
Okay.
And if you go back to Shadowrun, it also can reclassify massive damage to a lower category of damage, so that you heal more quickly. You are less negatively impacted, and that's where I always picture the projectile in the armored trench coat.
Yeah,
like you're literally slowing the bullet. You're literally mathematically dropping the impact to the target with that. And it's almost a one-on-one against those things. The sword hitting the shield or the armor.
Yeah. Is it always a choice to spend that armor?
Yeah, you don't have to spend
so it's never something like where they get a crit hit and it automatically does damage to your armor or anything like that. It's,
no,
you choose.
You would spend an armor slot.
Okay, to protect yourself. Okay, this is
so
cool.
If somebody does like something catastrophic to you, if you can take it just to bad, like down from catastrophic to terrible,
right.
If it keeps you up,
right.
I'm gonna take that. I'll take that.
Let the armor take the hit.
So how do you get these armor resources?
Well, it's your equipment.
It's directly from your equipment.
Right.
Okay.
Everything's going to have a certain score to it that's going to present as a modifier in that.
Also Shadowrun-ish. Yeah.
Very much.
It's
and that's your tiers as well, kind of like, and it made me think of like decking equipment.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking about.
No, it's.
Yep.
A lot of
you're doing the it's.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's okay.
Hold on. Absolutely.
it's.
Gosh.
Okay. Okay, I like this. This is cool. So we've talked about getting a catastrophic hit.
Talking about damage thresholds.
Let's talk. Yeah. Okay. So hit points or damage.
Yeah.
What is that? What
damage
is that?
threshold.
Okay.
Is what it is. Okay. 1891.
And you, I assume this is a various set of modifiers that determines how much damage you can take.
I don't know.
Okay.
I did not see. Okay, hit points. Yeah.
As a GM, I'd like to know how they die.
Yes.
Well, once you get down to like no hit points,
you're done with your damage threshold. You've passed your damage threshold.
You're dead.
And I keep going. I know it's not Shadowrun, but I go back to those. Yeah, you've had so many failures versus success that your available life slots
is down.
The 3 bars on the wrist, so to speak, are gone.
Yeah.
And now what happens in D&D in that I always homebrew. What happens in Daggerheart when
you have 3 choices?
And can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this so like in D&D now? I mean, in the modern version, it's, you get down to 0 hit points and you have a chance to try to save yourself. Originally, you got down to 0 hit points unless they could resurrect you, you're screwed. If you go too far past your hit points, you're just dead. You can't save yourself. Is this something where, is there a difference between, okay, I've used up all of my, my life, what was it?
Hit points.
Are they calling it hit points?
Yeah, they're hit points.
Okay, I've used up all of my hit points, and
damage
I'm at
threshold,
0.
Right?
My damage threshold.
Well, the damage threshold is depends on how many
hit points you have.
It'll tell you how many hit points you lose.
Okay, so if I go to
step.
0, is it different than going past into the negatives, or is it all the same?
I think it's all the same.
Okay. So you said there's 3.
There's 3 things you can do, I know for sure. One is Blaze of Glory, which is exactly what you think. Your character's going down and you're taking a whole bunch of motherfuckers with you.
Okay.
All right. There it is, 106. You're doing, Blaze of Glory is exactly what it sounds like.
What was it we were talking about? Was it Risk It All?
Risk It All. Yeah.
Yep. Risk It All is when you roll for it.
Okay. And explain roll for surviving?
Yeah.
So it's like death saving throws in D&D.
It kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So if you roll, here, I'm going to read right from it. Roll your duality dice. If the hope dice is higher, character stays up.
Okay.
And clears an amount of hit points or stress equal to the value of the hope die.
Okay.
So if you got like a 4 on it, and your 4 was better than whatever it was.
Right. You roll a 4-1 and hope is higher.
You can clear 4 hit points off the board or 4 stress points.
Okay.
So you could actually revivify yourself with enough good rolls.
But once again,
it can go the other way.
Dice.
You're rolling the dice. Yeah.
That Risk It All.
Yeah.
And then the other
is Avoid Death.
Avoid Death. Talk to us about that.
Which is a player, I think I would want that one.
Well, and here's the thing. So if you avoid death, number 1, you're down for the fight. You're done. But it also prevents, because if you hit a down character, that's a crit regardless of what you roll, right?
Okay, sure, yeah.
So
you're at risk.
Which knocks down 2 death saves. The other fighters in the fight, like whatever's GM's throwing at you, can't hit you if you're down. You're down.
Okay.
You don't get that extra layer because you avoid death, so they can't come in and get you.
Right. They can't come in and chop off your head.
No.
And it's in-school suspension versus expulsion.
Yes.
Okay. And
you're there, your character is physically still there, but due to the damage they've taken,
they're out.
They're out for not only that encounter, but the day.
Right, that was what you were saying. It's not just for the fight. Like, for the rest of that day, you're out, or the rest of the session, you're out?
Well, okay. You can't move or attack, so you're down. Unless somebody spends something to wake you back up.
So revivify, resurrect,
no, not even like that. It'd be like a healing spell.
Oh, okay.
Because you're not going out.
Okay, so you're getting like a healing potion.
I don't think there's like revivify or anything like that. Sure. I think it's more like you're dead or not.
Okay.
Unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're
they can heal you.
They can heal you, or you will wake up the next morning.
Okay, so out for the full day. And are there any lasting consequences for this?
You take a scar.
And what is that?
It basically, if it knocks down, because you can collect so many hope dice in a day. The top of the pool is, I think, 6.
Mm-hmm. And it shrinks your pool.
You go down to 5. You can only have so many. And once you get to 0, that character is done.
So this isn't just for, because you had something about hope dice for the day. This is your character's hope dice.
No, that you knocked out. Okay, that's like losing, like any of the spells that you lose permanent hit dice. Mm-hmm. That's what that is.
Right.
It knocks down some of your resources.
Right. So you
take
are
enough
never
away
going to again be as hopeful as you had been before taking this
death sucks and I'm traumatized.
Unless, hold on, unless there are specific things that the GM and the player can work out. Maybe there's a special quest that'll get some of that hope
It's
back.
that deep, though. It's literally that big of a thing. Your near-death experience.
You need to do something.
To the point you were saying, if a whole bunch of these start racking up, you're going to wake up one morning and go,
like, I'm really sick of dying.
Is there a ditch I could dig anywhere? Is there...
I'd like to farm now.
Okay. So if you get down to 0 hope, you're done. Your character is either dead or you're retired. Okay.
Which, honestly, it gives you kind of a way to bow out of a character that has obviously not
working. So it's cursed. And yes. How do we part with Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Very cool.
I like the Blaze of Glory. Okay. And since it is Matt Mercer and their crew, not going to lie, you saw this happen.
Oh, they love that. They love that.
FCG. he went out in a nuclear blast.
Yeah.
And they were testing stress points with him. I think he might have been like one of their beta characters that came into that.
Sure.
That they just kind of translated him, but tested out some of the theories.
Sure. Yeah.
And that is one place that you can go. That when we were kids learning our second edition D&D, we could not, which is to the internet for video.
To the internet,
right?
Homies are playing. They're doing live play, and you can probably get a feel for some of those mechanics. And probably, my question was about the speed of the game, because I like to run a narratively driven D&D table, not to the nth degree, not about everything, and use it situationally as a tool in the game. It feels like it's omnipresent in Daggerheart as it's written. And to me, intuitively, that would seem like it would slow down play because the more narration you have. But it seems to me also that other parts of the game are now more streamlined. And you can come to results quicker and just still have space for that shared spotlight.
Well, and I'm going to I will give them props because they have with I can't remember, like the forest that you're going into, that has a stat block.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah. Everything.
And this one uses countdown timers, which is another thing that you don't see. You can have it in D&D.
Some tables do.
But there's countdown track. It's like a lot of things you can do as a countdown.
Interesting.
Like you can do chases as a countdown.
Right.
Or you're building something, you have a countdown. You can roll your successes, and that'll either tick stuff off or not move it at all.
So one of the...
It's like using skill checks.
Yep. When you're crafting a legendary weapon.
There it is.
Right.
You've got to get things right enough times in a row to complete a difficult process. And I like that. I like that idea that you can't just go, okay, I'm going to do
building this. No.
An 18 segmented Chinese checkers move win the game, and I rolled 118, so lay it out for me, DM.
Right.
No, you got to do the checks. And he was building, I think, part of this with fucking Percy and campaign 1 because Percy did a lot of tinkering in between.
Sure. Yeah. So one of the things that's occurring to me is I'm just thinking back to our most recent, and we keep bringing up Shadowrun. I think it's just we were just playing it. And one of the challenges I have in the digital era was that you have, for every sort of skill check, you've got all these different modifiers that you have to pull in together. You have to sort of know what modifiers you need to do. You have to add it all up, and then you have to roll the dice to know what you need to hit. I've gotten very spoiled with Beyond in that sort of calculates all those modifiers for me, and it's there on my character sheet, and I can see it. And I know that Daggerheart does have a demi-plane to allow for digital creation of a character sheet. But I noticed when I was on there looking around that in order to access that tool in that way, you do have to pay for basically Daggerheart access, which is like $35.
They closed it. I have a feeling because it was open testing.
For beta testing.
Beta, it was open. The rules are different now.
Right. So I guess I want to ask that all of that is brought up to the idea of, is it as complicated, like say to figure out my evasion skill check, as in I have to know, in order to get my evasion score, I have to know my modifier for these 3 or 4 different things. Like if I don't want to pay the $35 to have a digital tool,
you add
that
your modifiers
does that
together and
me,
put it on your character sheet and you're done.
And they're not changing regularly?
No. But I will say this. Because you're marking off slots and stuff, you put everything on paper, right? But I would highly suggest putting them in the sleeves.
A character sheet in a sleeve that you can use a dry erase on. Yeah. So that's the one thing that I guess would be interesting for me to see, is because at least at this point I'm just testing out the game, don't know that I want to play it all the time a lot, so I don't know if I want to spend that $35 on a digital tool.
We're gonna find out though.
Is how
yes, we are.
how cumbersome
and I don't know yet.
Right, exactly.
Until we play, there's a whole bunch of shit that I could just be wrong about.
Right, like because I think this sounds really fun. I'm really excited to play test. But I heard the last time we jumped into Shadowrun, I was like, oh god damn it! How many? Wait, flip through the book. What I need to add that and that and that. Okay, yeah, that.
Cumbersome, yeah. And I don't think so. I think that they've intentionally moved a lot of that out of the way for this version of a TTRPG.
Yeah,
and it'll be. I don't know. I'm excited to do it too. I'd love to come back on the mechanics. I'm interested in spell casting. I'm interested in all ways
so much more
to challenge players.
There's 2 types of damage. We're not fire damage.
Right.
Like we're not. No, there's 2 types of damage.
Yeah, it's simpler.
Magical and non-magical. That's your 2 types of damage.
Yeah, it's not psionic or...
No, you don't have to...
Yeah, fire or
they're immune
electric
to that.
Or... Yeah. Okay, very cool. Simplified.
So right there's less cumbersomeness.
So I think we could spend all day digging into the mechanics on this.
I think we should come back and just revisit what we talked about after a set.
Yeah. So for those of you listening, those of you interested in learning more about Daggerheart, we are going to do a couple more episodes on this. In particular, we are going to play test the game, and we will come back and maybe revisit some of these discussions and give some feedback after actually rolling the die, playing in session, and seeing how it goes.
This reminds me of my favorite song. We're not gonna live play. No, we're not gonna live play.
Nope, we do not live play.
You could sit there all day and you still won't see us live play. Yep. Sorry. No, but yeah, to play the game and come back and talk about it, I think is more our alley and something that we're capable of doing.
Yeah, I will say with Daggerheart, one of their big things is they tell you straight out the gate. They give you safety tools and sesh 0.
Yeah.
They're
and that
huge.
is available. Yeah, that is available on there, and they cite a whole bunch of different methods and resources so that you can find one that fits for your table.
And I know we talked about this in our previous episode, but I just want to throw out there to give them some kudos. And for those who are interested in trying it out, you can do their quick start session for free. Like they have a module. You don't need to buy the core rulebook in order to try the game out. They say right at the very beginning of that quick start that, this doesn't have all the rules. If you're going to want to play this regularly, you're going to want the rule book.
Right.
But this can take you through a very beginner, learn how to play session. And you can do that entirely for free. And I think that's really cool.
Gamers do that because video games offer the same thing. You can do a little test teaser trial run of a level of a game and decide, hey, is this for me? I think that it's good. I think that that's just kind of open and then you get feedback, and feedback always builds a better widget.
Yep. So thank you guys for listening and joining us at the table today. We appreciate it. You're with Finding a Toria, and if you want to listen to more of our episodes, you can always find us at www.findingatoria.com. Or I'm sorry, www.wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. That is the first time ever.
It's okay.
And you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at Finding a Toria. We are so excited to bring you more about Daggerheart in the future, and so keep on listening.
Bye, guys.
Laters.